the Burnt River Dojo show.
The kids are sleeping. Let's do weird stuff.
Oh my good God. Are you there? It's me, Martha. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here at the Burnt River Dojo podcast. My name is Tony and Lee, and I will be your sensei on this, the eve of our destruction. With us this evening, we have a good friend of mine, the comedian Levi Baughman, fellow founding member of the Toddcast Poddcast and the C.U.M show, Comedy Under Monk's Open Mic. Good God, we had a good conversation. We're going to talk about how to eat good, how to eat the rich or die trying, and how to look good when you do it. Oh, and also, while we're at it, fuck Woody Allen. Ladies and gentlemen, Levi Baughman.
Couple months ago, actually. That's crazy.
Yeah, damn, that's nuts. That's honestly, before COVID, that's what a lot of my social interactions have been like, just, months and months between meeting good people. And the silly thing is that I'm not a names guy, so a lot of times I'll think I have a great friend and I don't know their name.
Oh no, not at all. There were people that I knew for like 5 or 6 years and loved them, would do anything for them. I had no idea what their name was.
Right?
Like, yeah. I am terrible with names, but I don't know. I'm kind of just a fucking hermit anyway. I just sit in the dark in my room and watch anime and drink beer, and that's about it.
Well, come to find out, that's probably like the best way to be, honestly, finding out that we're just in this cesspool cocktail of germs. And I mean, not really finding out. We've kind of always known, but like, right. Not so important as right now, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's kind of the weird thing is my life hasn't really changed that much at all. It's kind of like I go to work and then I come home and I chill and that's about it.
Right. Same here, man. I had actually, right before all this started is when I had moved to Cassville, Wisconsin. And I mean, there's a couple of bars here and the people there kind of know me. I pop in and get food and drink sometimes, but like for the most part, there's nobody in this town that minds that I don't fucking go anywhere.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's like, that's the best way to be. I just like having a core group of friends where it's like, oh, if I want to hang out, like they're there to hang out with. But otherwise, I feel I hear so much people that like live in Chicago and leave Chicago simply because the social hierarchy is so important in that city, where you have to like keep making connections over and over and over again.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
Like, really stay integrated and stay in touch with all those connections to make it ahead in that city. And that just sounds like a nightmare to me. I just want the option to go home and just be, man. That's all I want.
Yeah, right. To just be a man of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've noticed, how you mentioned about like people's associations and just kind of what lasts over time. Like I found myself like when I was younger, I was just like so searching for validation. So really anybody I called a friend was just somebody who, I don't know, made me feel good at one point or another. But like here as an adult, I'm finding more that the people I consider to be friends are the people that like I unite with over something. Like for instance, at the dojo here, we're all the Toddcast Podcast and the C.U.M show, kind of reuniting to just keep something going during COVID and just going forward, because I mean, like COVID is a stupid way to call it. Yeah, I mean, that's just such a dumb way to sum it all up. But we all know what we're talking about with all this lockdown shit and just nobody being allowed to really assemble, I feel like that's a cause that we're all uniting over.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. When you're young, you kind of are like clinging on to friendship at any turn because it's like, well, also, it was so fucking easy to make a friend when you were a little kid because it was just like, oh, just saw you in the corner and you're my friend now.
You play with me?
Yeah, you wanna get over here and figure out these blocks that I got going, and that's about it. That's all it takes.
Right.
Now it's like, this is my boyfriend's second cousin. Try to find something in common with this person.
Right.
That's like, I don't want to do that. But then when you're in a situation, that's what was so cool about just comedy and Monks just as a place in general. Like the people that come through that place are just dope people, and you get to meet a lot of interesting people.
Right. It's honestly, it's a very West Coast kind of vibe. And I don't know how to say that much better other than just like the way
dumb
that
hipsters.
Everybody is dumb hipsters and they're all just so in love with each other and up each other's ass. And it's great. I mean, it's a lot of good vibes.
I love it.
A lot of good vibes.
There's nothing that makes me happier than a group full of dumb hipsters.
Right. And I love it because our buddy Todd, for instance, is totally not a dumb hipster until he catches toxic energy. And he's like, bro, that's like not cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's... I was thinking about that the other day. About the idea of hipster. Because like people call me a hipster, but like, I don't know. I feel like if you call yourself a hipster, you're not a hipster. You just like the Cure.
Right. It's the reappropriation of faggot. Like they're just not calling, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I actually,
right.
The hairstyle that you have, where you have your bangs are kind of just dominant in everything.
Sure. Yeah, I got my low
that.
hangers.
Right. I just did that for the first time in my life. And I'm ashamed to say, oh, dude. So like I saw the Batman commercial for the new Batman movie. And I was like, I fucking want that so bad. My hair was long enough, but I was like, you know what? I deserve to feel pretty. And I seriously, I went to the barber and I told this chick, make me look like Batman. And I showed her the picture and she was like, oh, you got it. You could do it. And so like, I've been just admiring myself a lot lately. And I'm like, everything I love about the way I look right now, when I was growing up, everyone around me would have called me a faggot.
Right. Well, who's to say that you aren't? But like, that shouldn't be a bad thing.
Right. And it's just, it's a way to distance oneself from things that you find, you know, just like affluent or just, you know, that you're not comfortable with.
No, like I don't know. Caring about your appearance isn't a bad thing, or like putting effort into your appearance isn't a bad thing. I remember I was the first time that the first and only time that Todd and I did acid together. He was like, he wasn't freaking out, but I could see him like starting to glue to his chair and like hold on to the armrests. And like I was like, hey, come here. And I brought him into the bathroom and I made him look in the mirror. And I was just like, look at you in there. You are beautiful inside and out, and we're going to have a good time. And there's nothing wrong. There's something that I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, you look at yourself and you go, I love you, or you're beautiful. And it's like, no, I'm just like, this is what I got. Yeah. And I'm going to appreciate it and love it and say that it's, because to me, it is like beautiful. There's no shame in admiring yourself in a capacity that isn't douchey. Right.
And that's a lot of the whole modern thing these days about the way people are like not into shaming of any kind, and a lot of the positivity movement, body positivity, and well, I shouldn't say and weight positivity, but they want people to be happy with the way they look and the body type they have. And honestly, there's actually nothing wrong with my kid. She is beautiful. But I do this thing with her every night where I make her look in the mirror before we go to bed and tell herself that she's beautiful. And
Oh, that's
I don't know.
nice.
She gets a little too into it. I can tell I'm making a vain person, but I would rather arm her with that than to leave her, like, to send her into the world broken, you know?
Right.
Like, I let her get away with so much shit, dude. I'm making a monster. I'm sorry to everyone that she's gonna interact with. She's gonna be a fucking animal.
No, your kid's gonna be a little Hitler. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like not in all of the good ways that we think about Hitler, though.
All the great things he accomplished.
Yeah. Because like underneath, he was still a person, you know.
Right.
And
he started as an artist.
Yeah. He was like, he had goals and aspirations. He had like, he had a stern temperament, but it got things done.
Right.
Like you gotta have that.
Then he got into meth.
Yeah. That was a bummer. A lot of Hitler's friends were like, "You get Adolf.
Gotta get this under control, man."
You can't be doing meth every day."
In fact, they sat him in a room one time with a bomb in it, and they were like, "All right, you need to sit around this bomb with us, and we're going to talk about your problems." And he was like, "No,
no, I refuse to do that."
Right.
I just like the idea of, I was just picturing Adolf Hitler like underneath a bridge somewhere with a glass pipe or like a little roll of tinfoil that he made himself, smoking meth, and it made me really happy. He's still got like the full uniform, but his hair is like not as well kempt. It's like falling in his face a little bit. He's got dirt on his left cheek.
Jesus Christ.
That made me happy.
Yeah. So during all this quarantine shit, like what are you eating, man? Like, have you been
what am I
good?
eating?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I just ate Chinese food like a second ago, so that was good.
Right on. Chinese food's always good.
I ordered Great Dragon, but it's been a lot of frozen pizzas, a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and
right on.
Basic. I've been doing way too much junk food lately, though, which is really bumming me out because it's like my stomach hurts, and I know the cause of it. Like, I know what I need to remove in order to make my stomach not hurt.
Your stomach? You need to remove your stomach.
I need to remove my stomach, and then I can eat all the junk food I want.
Right.
And mommy can't tell me no. But yeah, no, I've been eating like shit. What about you? Have you been like getting into a better diet, or?
Sort of. I've never been formally trained in cooking. I mean, I've worked in restaurants like fast food and shit, so I can flip a burger. But a lot of my training is watching like Hell's Kitchen or MasterChef or something and just seeing the shit they do. So I get crazy ideas. Like fucking yesterday, I busted open a gourd, a fucking squash. I don't remember what kind, but like all my life as a kid, I never ate squash or zucchini. Like, those were just things that I would have just like puked if I looked at them. Like, oh my God, that is such a green vegetable. I will stab you. But like, no, dude, I took this squash and I let it simmer in a pot with some garlic and some onions for a while. And then I threw some pasta sauce on top of it. And it made it like this really good, like a chunky pasta sauce. It took a lot of the, like, soaked up a lot of the liquid consistency of it.
Right.
And then I just, what kind of meat did I buy? Fuck, I don't remember. I smoke too much weed. All my food sounds good right now. But yeah, dude, ever since COVID, I've been doing a lot of the like Oregon Trail type, like stock up with all the meats and all the beans and the rice and everything that I can possibly get and just go from that for as long as I can. And then like, I mean, like I said, I live in I'm in the middle of nowhere. So I make this like special trip in a hazmat suit in my truck to, you know, just some town next over, I think it's Prairie du Chien I go to most often. Sometimes I'll go to like Dubuque or Platteville, but like everything's really far away. There's not really a next door town. But
right.
yeah,
No, you gotta stock up.
Suit. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Like I'm just not good at cooking. Like it's never been something. I'll go through phases of like, I went through an omelet phase at one point during COVID where I just got really into making omelets and figuring out what ingredients to put into it and like trying different techniques, and it was all off of did
you have like a favorite way to get her down?
I think my favorite way that I've found is you do the omelet, don't do any milk with it when you're beating the eggs. Let like a quarter and a half or a quarter stick of butter, something like that, melt into the pan. Throw the beaten eggs in it, usually 3 eggs. And then as the omelet is cooking, I like to add a little bit of feta cheese.
Ooh.
A little
fancy.
bit. Yeah. A little bit of the crushed red peppers.
Right on.
And then when it's done, throw a couple of sliced avocados in there. And then on the top of it, just use like sriracha or whatever hot sauce you've got. Just sprinkle a little bit
hot sauce
that on there.
Eggs, guys.
I love hot sauce on eggs.
Oh.
You against it? You against the code?
I honestly, I hate topping eggs with a sauce. I'm looking at that now, and that's the first time I've ever realized that. Like, I've seen people put jelly on it or ketchup, and I can't do sauce on my eggs. I like my eggs to be
what
seasoned.
Animal was putting jelly on eggs?
People in Fresno, California. It's a delicacy, man. It's a
that
local
made me
delicacy.
Quiver. Like I should.
Man, I have
like my ankles hurt. That's so disgusting.
If I had the ability to get a hold of like several family members, I could just bring up eggs and jelly, and they'd be like, "Oh, where's that at? Like, what do you got? I'd go for it right now."
That's fucking atrocious. I hate that.
That's how far
the
from
thought
the
of
ghetto
that.
I am.
Oh man, but no, hot sauce on eggs is good. I do like me some hot sauce on eggs.
Right on. I've been doing a lot with a skillet, a lot with my cast iron skillet as far as eggs go. Like just toss in a whole, like fill it to the brim so you get a good, like you want it to look good. That's a lot of my thing. I'll make too much or too little food, but most often too much food just because it like looks better when you have too much. But I'll fill my skillet with like noodles and a couple of blocks of cheese, and like I'll throw 1 or 2 eggs in there and like chop up. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, I chopped up a bunch of brats and threw that in there, and like you roast it all up until it browns the top, dude, and the cheese melts all through the whole thing, and you get these like skillet melts full of whatever vegetables you threw in it. I like to do like carrots, and carrots are really good when you heat them up and get them real soft.
Oh man, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, man. Fucking, those blocks of fresh mozzarella that they sell? They're like really soft. Yeah. Dude, throw that in a cast iron skillet and melt that shit with some brats and some noodles, man.
Ooh. That sounds delicious.
Fucking awesome. Oh my god! And I gotta share this with you because it's so fucking easy. And I learned it watching. Gordon Ramsay has like a YouTube show that he does where he'll show how to make dishes and shit. But you get your vegetables sauteing, like peppers and onions or whatever. Just get them to saute, and then you coat them with sugar, like a sick amount of sugar, and let it melt down into a simple syrup. And then you season that with a little bit of red wine vinegar. And dude, I'm telling you, it makes sweet and sour peppers and onions. And like, it's fucking awesome, dude. That's like my family dish. We eat that weekly, sometimes daily.
Do you put that on something, or you just eat it as is?
Yeah, we put that over like noodles, and a lot of times I'll make like I call it lo mein, but it's not actually lo mein noodles because they're fucking hard to find around here. But whatever noodles you get, right? You make the noodles and then you heat them up with a little soy sauce so they get that salty flavor, and then throw a little oil on it. Lo mein noodles are originally with sesame oil, but dude, that shit is strong. Like, you got to be really careful with your dosing of it. It'll too much will ruin the whole fucking dish.
No, but, sesame oil is no joke. I found that out the hard way.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
Whole meals that my family couldn't eat. And I was like, well, it's a fucking burrito night.
Nah, that sounds delicious, man.
Yeah.
I love the idea of that. Yeah, I should probably get into like learning how to cook a little bit better.
That's a good way to rope a lady down, man.
That's probably true. That's a fair point. I can bake like cakes and stuff.
Right on.
That I'm decent at because I used to have to do that for my job. So I learned how to like make a cake from scratch.
Dope.
So like I can do that and make like desserts and like cookies and cakes and donuts and stuff, but was never like cooking a dish was never something that I really learned how to do, other than just like your basic, spaghetti and meatballs or whatever.
Right on. I've been putting a lot of thought into it lately because besides COVID demanding me stay home, my wife took the helms. She's our breadwinner right now, so I just have a lot of free time, and well, not really free time, but I can put more energy into getting better at cooking. So I have to think out like how much food to take out in advance and how to prep like the meals for so many days in a row.
Well, I mean, that's just a good life skill to have. It's so much more affordable to do that, to like make stuff for yourself.
Right.
You can eat whatever you want within the realm of possibility of what you can create and what you can find in terms of groceries.
Right.
So it's like
I'm a bastard whenever I go to a restaurant because like they'll have like we have the special burger and the Cajun chicken, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, all right, will you take out like 2 or 3 of these ingredients and replace them with these ingredients because that sounds a lot better to me. Like, that's just how I would make it. If I'm not asking you to bastardize your recipe.
Oh man, they fucking hate you in the kitchen.
They hate me everywhere.
they're so pissed off.
Right.
Like, this fucking guy again.
There's this restaurant in Cassville that we really like to go to. They make some pretty damn good food. But the chef, he's a good buddy of mine. He told me that the customers that come there have told him if they see him wearing a mask or if they have to wear a mask, they're just going to stop showing up.
Well, I mean, as well they should. Yeah. They should never eat at that man's establishment again for having an opinion on something.
They should never eat in public. If
Yeah. No. I feel like it's interesting that people are still complaining about the masks at this point.
Yeah, people are like starting fights over it.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of people. There was a group of people in California that stormed a couple of different stores together. They just went from store to store to store and like harassed the shoppers that were wearing masks. It was just ridiculous.
Like PETA?
Not PETA really, but it was just a group
not doing masks, but that I was making a comparison to the way PETA will like go around and just harass people on the street and random wearing like fur coats and stuff.
I haven't seen stuff like that in a long time. I feel like those were better days.
Those were good days. Yeah, when you could throw a gallon of paint on a woman wearing a mink coat and not get sued. Those were good days.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting. Like, people will come into the store and like they'll be wearing a mask and I'll ring them up and they'll be like, man, I hate these masks, right? It's like, you haven't gotten used to it yet? Like, you haven't just succumbed? Like, just fucking let go, dude. It's not that
man.
Serious.
It's not serious as like an issue overall. It's kind of like creepy to look at the outlook on it, that like the air quality on the earth is going to get so bad and people are just going to be so gross over the next how many years that it's just going to be stupid to go anywhere without a mask.
Right. Well, what was it, like Europe, I think, is considering going forward with just making the masks indefinite thing. I don't know if I wouldn't quote me on that. It was somewhere in Europe is considering doing that, if not all of Europe.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised. I have a friend that lives in Greece that like they have to like summon the military basically to escort them anytime they want to leave their home whenever the like threat level goes to a certain level.
Damn. What are they escorting them for?
Well, like say like, okay, so it's in Greece. And if you live in Greece and like you're at home and you want to go to the grocery store or go to your friend's house, you have to call the military or text like a human services person, and they have the military come and escort you where you're going and make sure you don't go anywhere else.
Okay.
Spread any germs and shit.
I thought you were like being escorted through COVID. I was trying to figure out how that would work logistically, but no, that makes sense. Well, that has to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah. And like when I say it's not serious, I don't mean that the situation isn't serious. I mean like the idea of just the basic idea of wearing a mask seems to be so catastrophic to people.
Yeah,
that's the part that's not serious. Is like, yeah, you just put the thing on your face and then it's there, and that's it. That's literally all of the steps it requires. And
yeah, they act like they're being chained down.
Yeah. People talk about like, oh, I can't breathe so well. It's like, well, then you shouldn't be alive if you can't breathe through fabric. Like, I don't know what to tell you about. Like, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah, one of the videos I saw of those people that I was telling you about that were storming a store, one of the guys that was like, oh my god, dude, this guy was huge. He was like 6'5". He had shoulders like a fucking linebacker. And someone was like, ran up to him with his camera out and was like, dude, why are you guys doing this? What's the matter with you? And the guy's response was, dude, I tested negative, bro. Like, I'm good. I tested negative.
Wait, is the massive dude the dude not wearing a mask?
Not wearing a mask, and he's like, I tested negative, bro. I don't gotta worry about shit. He has a
tiny little Mexican voice.
I'm just trying to sound like a meathead.
I love that. No, your voice was perfect. I was picturing what's his name? Tiny Tiger from Crash Bandicoot. Is that his name?
Yeah.
I was picturing Tiny Tiger, like his body, but with just like the smallest, most petite Mexican voice.
I was trying to do like some Jersey Shore shit.
Well, I tested positive, Holmes.
Right?
No, I love it.
Oh man, have you ever watched Malcolm in the Middle?
I watched it back in the day. Not that much though.
All right, so there's this one episode where the boys are up on a billboard and they're doing graffiti, and fucking their mom catches them on the billboard and they try to like lean back and hide from her, and they're like, the mom is like, what the fuck are you guys doing up there? And the one boy's like, lady, you don't understand, we are not the boys your sons are being. he just got this awful English, and it was fucking solid. But I got hooked on it, and I kept doing it for a long time. And I'm like talking to my kid, like, "Oh no, you don't do that, little girl. You get back over here, okay? I'll mess you up, all right?" And
You're
my
just
wife is
talking
like,
to your child like a cholo.
"Yeah." My wife is like, "You have to stop. You please stop."
Well, because she's gonna eventually go to school, and like,
Oh yeah.
that's just gonna be how because like she's gonna try to come up with a personality because she's meeting new people, and so she tries on her dad's funny voice.
Yeah.
And like goes and does that at school, and then that's just her identity for 8 years until she gets to high school, and then she sheds it off because she realizes that that's not her voice.
Oh man, I'm so nervous for the day she finds out that a lot of the voices that she does are actually cultural accents, because like she does that. She does voices on purpose trying to be funny. Not and she has no clue that they're accents. She does a Southern accent, she does a Jamaican accent, and I mean she's gonna bump into somebody well, maybe not, I don't know.
That's pretty impressive that she's like got a grasp on accents at this age, that she can like throw her voice to make it sound like different things.
Yeah, and it drives me nuts because I'm really impressionable. So when I get sick and tired of doing it, I can't stop doing it because she keeps doing it. And
right.
we'll just be walking around talking like the greatest Jamaican bobsled team in the whole damn USA. Like it's fucking hard to break it.
Oh man. Well, yeah. Well, when you've got like a little girl yes-anding you, with vaguely ethnic,
right?
Similes, like you gotta just dive into it. You can't not do that.
She was actually baptized in comedy. I brought her on stage at the Monks open mic one time.
Yeah. No, that was a great night.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it feels like she might have actually caught something from that, because she's fucking goofy, man. Like she tells jokes on purpose, and I don't know any other child at her age, like you said, that will purposefully set you up for a joke and to be like, "Ha, I got you."
That's impressive, man. Yeah, that's really cool. Smart. No, I did like impressions and stuff at a very young age. I was like mimicking people's voices, but I don't know if I was that young. Like that's pretty early to start like having a grasp on that.
Yeah, she's got a better grasp on that than a lot of other things.
Yeah, but that's all you need. As long as you're charismatic, you can get by pretty far in this world.
Yeah, that's what people like about her. She has a lot of people that send her presents that are people she's only met once or twice.
That's nice and creepy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're all ladies, and they're all like friends of my wife, so I'll let it be cute. If it was like dudes, like, oh my god, like I don't know why it would bother me if a grown man innocently gave my daughter a little thing from the dollar store. I don't know
if a 40-year-old dude is sending your daughter a teddy bear because he likes her Jamaican accent. Like, that's a red flag. I don't know what's a red flag of. But
get off your OnlyFans. I'm going to block him right now.
Yeah. No, it's certainly a sign of something sinister.
Right.
But yeah. No, if there's like some old dude that like just has like a plastic flower or something and gives it to her. Yeah, even then, fuck that guy. Like, that guy's creepy. Don't give my kid stuff.
6 feet, bitch.
Yeah, stay away.
Right. Well, fuck. Enough about my kid, man. What are you up to nowadays? Like, what are you watching and shit?
I've been watching. I don't know why I feel self-conscious about saying it, but I've been watching a lot of anime recently. I don't know why.
Right on.
I've just got like a bug for it. So I just watched Demon Slayer, which was really good. Also just watched Berserk, which was really good. Yeah, I haven't been watching that many movies or anything. I've been pretty much just watching TV and anime. I've also been reading or trying to read more lately, and have been trying to read more over COVID, which has been kind of nice.
You know, you're not the first person to make me think that I should get back into reading, because I mean, I've said it before and I will say it again, that I have a lot of books that I haven't read that I need to get into. And one that is particularly relevant right now is 1984.
Have you never read 1984?
I've seen the film and I was gifted the book. And I was like, oh, I want to read this so bad. And I haven't read it yet. But like, man,
I'm surprised that you weren't required to in school.
I didn't finish school. The thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Sorry.
No big love. I don't brag about it. It's just like, yeah, I'm kind of a blank slate in a lot of areas. And it's because I didn't finish school.
That's fair. That's not a bad place to be, though. I mean, being fresh to things and being able to come into them.
Yeah,
without,
I just get sick of repeating it, but yeah.
I mean, I've been going back and reading books that I read or was told to read in high school. Because I had a real problem with, I don't like reading things that I'm told to read.
Right.
It makes me, I just can't do it. Like even when somebody recommends me a book, if somebody's like, hey, you should read this, and then they like lend me a book, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to read that book. Because somebody told me to read it. I don't know what that is, but I have to like find it on my own and sort of come to it organically. Otherwise, I'm not going to read it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, for me, a lot of why I wasn't interested in a lot of the material they gave me in school was because, like, it's all the same shit. It's all like, Stephen was sent to take care of his grandfather after his grandfather's stroke. And then when his grandfather died, Stephen had to question himself as a man. Or, you know, some youngin was found in the wilderness after surviving for months. Like, it's just this repeated YA novel trope shit. And like, I wanted sci-fi. I just wanted more compelling stories to glue me down. And a lot of what I got was from comic books. But there's been like 1 or 2 really good sci-fi books that I read. Like fucking this one, I forget who the author was, but it was called Superstitious, where this lady had this curse that like every time someone broke a superstition around her, like if you sneezed and didn't say bless you, later that night a demon would crawl out of her and fucking go murder you.
Whoa.
And I know, it was so cool. It was written by this Irish guy. I can't remember the name of it, but it was the coolest thing I ever read in school and not on the accelerated reader list. God damn it. I got no points for that book.
No points. Your face didn't climb up the tree.
Right.
That's a bummer.
The girl that I was eyeing didn't want to fuck me because my score.
Yeah, because your accelerated reader score wasn't up to her standards. Your ISAT didn't meet state requirements.
Right.
So no pussy for you.
No.
But that sounds... It's called Superstition.
The Superstitious or something. I'll look it up right now, actually.
I'm going to have to try to find that because that sounds interesting.
A lot of why I wanted to do this podcast at my computer is so that I could record on one screen and have another screen up where I could Google shit. And I'm going to find that right now.
I turned Mike onto a book that was probably the coolest book that I encountered in high school, which was Metamorphosis by Franz something. I'm trying to remember his last. his last name. Yeah, I'm looking it up. What is your name? Tell me your name. Franz Kafka, yeah. It's really short book. It's only like 100 pages or something like that, maybe less. But it's about a traveling salesman or like a door-to-door salesman that wakes up one morning and finds that he's turned into a cockroach.
I've heard of this. This is a smart person's book to read. And smart people read this book.
Yeah. And his family has him locked away in his bed. And he's like, it's really interesting and really like existential and surreal, because the majority of the book is spent, he never overreacts or really reacts at all to that he's been turned into a cockroach. He's just kind of like, I can't like sit up properly. That's weird. Anyway, what's my wife doing? Oh, she's talking to my mom. Why are my hands like this? Okay. Well, oh well. And then he just kind of like moves through this thing in a really sort of nonchalant way. But the whole book is really interesting. And I remember reading that when I was in high school, and I was like, this is dope. I want more of this shit.
Right.
And it just never came.
Yeah, I know the same feeling. There's actually, so besides that superstitious book I tell you about, which I actually just found, it's I'm ashamed to say it was by R.L. Stine, which makes it sound like it was written for a 5-year-old. But dude, I remember there was sex scenes in that book. Like it was like a fucking, like his shot at writing a Stephen King horror. He really took a shot. It was a long book, but fucking, it's called Superstitious by R.L. Stine. It came out in 1995. And just this fucking college chick falls in love with this Irish guy, and he has this curse. Yeah, that fucking demons crawl out of his stomach when people break a superstition. It was pretty fun to read. But no, dude, there's this better one. You mentioned books that you really wanted to see something more of. There's this one I saw called the Transall Saga, where this kid is like struck by lightning as he's camping in the desert and fucking wakes up so far in the future. It's like Planet of the Apes kind of, but apes haven't taken over. People have just changed. They look different. There's all kinds of different species. And there's him and one other guy that are both from like our time, that in that time they're like kings, no one else is like them, and they're like physically dominant over all these like small people. And oh my god, it was just such a good book. It was called the Transall Saga, and it's fucking fun to read, man.
Huh?
Yeah, reading is good. I advise reading to people.
A series, or was it just a single book?
It was just a single book called the Transall Saga. I don't get why people have to stick with the names they get sometimes.
Yeah, I will look that up as well.
Right on.
There it is. You got thriftbook.com for $4.19. Hell yeah.
Dope. Yeah, it was a fun little sci-fi read.
Yeah. I had one cool English teacher that like we had our what we kind of had to read, but she would often let us pick our own thing to do book studies on, rather than having to do like the just the book that the curriculum told you to do. Mm-hmm. And I read A Clockwork Orange for one of them,
read that.
Which is amazing. The book, the movie's one of, if not my favorite movie ever. And the the book is also incredible. The book is really like, they have a glossary of all of the slang terms in the back of the book so that you can hopefully follow along with what they're saying, because the entire book is essentially written in gibberish, but it's like,
they must
it's
have had
really-
to go through it to make the movie, because the movie visualizes a lot of that gibberish as they narrate it.
yeah. I remember that book blew me away, because it was the questions that are being asked in the book similar to what is being asked in the movie, but the idea, I think it's a quote from the book of is it more important for a man to be moral or for him to have the choice of being moral in the first place? And that's kind of the idea of the book and the movie, although Kubrick kind of took that idea and put it more on the establishments and more on the industry of social reform and prison systems and their treatment of morality, where the book is more about like the individual person's pursuit of morality, of whether it's more important to have free will or to be a good person.
I feel like a lot of the movies that are adaptations do that to sum things up and wrap it up in a time slot of 2 hours or less, you know?
Yeah. Well, also like Kubrick tends to take the books that he adapts and sort of find a slightly different angle into them. None of his books that he's adapted are identical. The movies that he's adapted from books are never identical to the books in one way or another. He always kind of had a way of having a fresh take on it.
Right. Have you ever caught a Woody Allen movie?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, so like I'm just getting put onto him a little bit, and I mean, I don't get how he got away with the stuff that he did in just plain view of the public.
Yeah, I've wondered that myself, because like, was he ever really that big of an icon to where he could just do that? Like, was he that special in the American zeitgeist that he could marry his daughter?
Yeah.
And like people, because like that's a Michael Jackson move. That's not like Woody Allen is I wouldn't put him on the level of Michael Jackson.
Right. Have you seen Annie Hall?
Yeah.
I just watched it pretty recently, and I gotta say it's a good movie, but if you look at it through the lens that we get of like, okay, so the guy that wrote this, I get what he's like because of this, and this, it paints a pretty pathetic picture of him, and in doing so, it doesn't surprise me that he would do what he did, but like through that same aspect, like he's probably got friends that like him enough to like, oh yeah, I'll just make sure that you're on the list of people to never get arrested for being a fucking pedophile.
Yeah, well, I think that his movies clearly paint a pretty avid picture of a man that maybe has some self-loathing problems, or not self-loathing, but like,
yeah,
his movies are clearly him sharing his insecurities.
Yeah,
and like his need for young women to approve himself. Ants, the animated movie.
Yeah, he was the same in Ants.
yeah. I forgot that he was in Ants. That's really funny.
I tried to watch it with my kid because I didn't remember exactly what it was like, but it's Woody Allen doing a Woody Allen kids movie.
Yeah, it's so weird. Did you like it watching it as an adult?
Not as an adult and not as a kid, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't like it either time either. I thought it was so. I remember watching it as a kid, and I was just like, "What the fuck is it? Why?"
It's just
What's
so
going
grotesque.
on?
Yeah.
And then I watched it as an adult, and I was like, "This movie's."
Bad.
I just don't know who it's for.
It's for Woody Allen, so he can watch it and say he made a kids movie.
Yeah. No, he needed one, and he was trying to win the Oscar, and the competition was steep that year. So he tried to slide into the animated category with DreamWorks.
Yeah, like it's a staple of being great to like you make one for the ladies, one for the kids, you do an ethnic piece, so on and so forth. But I heard from one that I really like actually is Neil Gaiman. He makes really great shit.
Yeah.
But he made a kids movie called Coraline, and they told him at the gate, they said, okay, so we're gonna put this movie, you're gonna be nominated, but you're not gonna win, because that same year Pixar released Up, and they told him nobody wins the same year Pixar releases anything.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a steep hill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Pixar is just like a dynasty at this point. Like nobody's going to beat Pixar in an animated category. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw Coraline.
It's cute. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it seemed like it would be up my alley for when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, dude, Gaiman stuff is all pretty weird.
Yeah, I just read Nevermore.
I have that. That's one of I have so many Gaiman books, and that is one that I haven't read.
It is really, really good. I read it in a week or 5 days or something. I just couldn't put it down. It was so good.
Right on.
It's a really cool world that he paints. Yeah, I won't spoil anything for you if you're gonna try to read it, but I would highly recommend it.
I will totally read it. Yeah,
what he manages to do in that book is amazing.
Well, I have American Gods. I have a couple of the Sandman series. I've read the whole series at the libraries and shit, but oh my god, it's so fucking cool of a comic book.
Yeah.
I guess Netflix is coming out with a show pretty soon, and I'm watching all the casting decisions and shit online, and it's oh my god, it's gonna be so awesome. I hope they don't fuck it up. They fuck up things. Just people in general fuck things up. But enough about this shit. I wanted to circle back to comedy and ask you, Levi Baughman, have you been writing anything lately?
A little bit. I've got a few ideas cooking. I haven't really been diligent in constructing bits. I've got a lot of. I always still keep a little notebook in my pocket, and when I come up with an idea, I'll write it down. And I'm still coming up with ideas and thinking about them and kind of working them out in my head, but I haven't been taking the steps to structure those ideas properly. They're just kind of existing as ideas right now.
Right. I feel that. I've been telling, I can't shut up about this sketch class that I'm taking where we're we're fully fleshing out sketches into scripts, and it's so fun to just take these ideas that I didn't really have a place for in stand-up formally,
right,
and just twist them into something. This one that I just wrote I don't think is very good, because I was trying to envision it through I'll have them do it at SNL. I'll sell it to SNL and watch them do it. And oh god, 3 to 5 pages is about what you're shooting for a single sketch. And I had 10 pages. And
right.
fucking A. That's so much editing to do and like, reconstructing your idea. But
that's the part of it that sucks is the editing. Like, yeah, just getting it out of your head is kind of fun, but the editing portion really sucks. I have a script idea that I've been kind of working on and trying to write. That's it's a mega church pastor that wants to be a dancer. And
I like it already.
He gets footloosed by his congregation.
Oh my God.
Because he was telling them that dancing is a sin. But he's wearing like a leotard underneath his robes or whatever. I've been trying to work on that. And then I had another idea that I haven't really done anything with. But I want to turn it into something. And now I can't even remember what it is because I haven't like put any of it down to paper. I just had it as like an idea floating around.
I was trying to come up with one the other night, and I was like trying to tell my wife about it and not say anything that I know she wouldn't laugh at. I wanted it to be like kind of raunchy, and all the details that I left out telling her was all the shit that I thought was funny. And then when I wrote it down and I showed it to her, she's like, "This isn't very good." Like, she's like, when you were like stammering the other night as we were passing the fuck out and you were drunk, like it sounded so much funnier.
Yeah, there's a lot of those ideas. I've definitely had. Those are my favorites when I'll be like really high and I'll come up with an idea and then I completely forget the idea. And then I look at my notebook the next morning and I read the idea that I thought was so good the night before when I was super high. And it's just nothing. Like, it's not even good or bad. It's just not even an idea. And I'm just like, what?
Right.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Like, I'll have elements that I think are funny. And it's like, how do I tell someone about the sensate? Like, the first time you do, oh my God. So another thing I can't shut up about is that I got a bidet thing. One of those things that you can get for your toilet. And it's oh my God, I can't fucking shut up about it. Like, you could eat off my asshole. It's fantastic. If you've ever seen the show You're the Worst, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Oh my God, dude. So it's a really funny show, blah, blah, blah. This lady in it finds a bidet at some point, and it's actually on the day she's trying out her wedding dress, the day before her wedding. And she finds a secret room in her office that she didn't know about before, and the toilet has a bidet on it. So like, she sits down on the bidet in her wedding dress, and she gets really into it. Because the sensation, I mean, there's a sensation to it, man. You put hot water in it and like it fucking makes you like want to come and shit. And so anyway, she sits there and she's blasting her asshole with hot water until she passes out. Like, she beats off a couple times and she fucking just passes out in just cum and water and her wedding dress. And it shows like her wedding, like she totally misses it. No one knows where she is. And then like it shows like the next day she wakes up, she's still on the toilet. She's in her wedding dress. It's totally soaked. And she goes to stand up and like 17 gallons of water just drop on the floor. It's such a great fucking effect.
I like that as a visual. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it waits until she stands up and it just drops.
I like that. I'm trying to. It made me laugh. The idea of just the logistics of sitting on a toilet in a wedding dress.
Yeah,
like what that would look like on top of having a bidet squirting you is just like a very funny, just like a wilted flower of sexuality.
Right. Yeah, and it was one of those runny eye makeup moments. She didn't look the best. She was all fucked up, and she was drunk too, I think. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. But the whole show is great. It's worth watching. It's called You're the Worst. The actress in question is Aya Cash, and she's fantastic in everything she's in.
I will give it a whirl. What is it on?
Hulu has it on FX. If you have anything that has FX on it.
Gotcha. I will put a look. Here's. I just found one of those high thoughts in my notebook.
Hit me.
The way that octopuses slurp into crevices is really disgusting.
Yeah. Like a booger.
It's nothing. It's not a joke. It's not. I know that when I wrote this down, I thought it was hilarious. And
I think it's hilarious.
Rereading it, I'm like, you fucking idiot.
if you leave all the fat off of it, it's really great. Like I could picture you hitting a crowd with it. Just the facts alone, just like the way octopus go into a crevice is really gross.
It just makes me
like, have you ever seen it? Ew.
It just makes me upset. Like, because it's a living creature that is smushing its brain and body into a tiny hole, and it doesn't seem to really mind at all. And it's really not okay. I don't like octopuses. I love them, but I don't like. They need to fucking stay in their lane.
Right.
Like,
I like their cousin, the cuttlefish. I think cuttlefish are pretty cool because they're not so long of tentacles that seem so evil. You know, they are generally a lot smaller, but they have like this camouflage that it like emits light too, and it's fucking insane to watch.
Oh, that was I learned the other day that an octopus's camouflage, the like nerve endings that are responsible for camouflaging them and like reacting, because they can change multiple times within a fraction of a second to like different colors and change to whatever the background is of their surrounding within less than a second.
And probably why they are such a dominant species. They can react so quickly to shit.
But the reason that they can react so quickly is because those nerve endings are functioning separate from their brain.
Yeah.
Their nerve endings aren't being controlled by them. They have their own separate nervous system completely dedicated to sensing their surroundings that is reacting separate from the octopus's motor functions and its brain.
It's so hard to fucking wrap your mind around doing multiple things at a time like an octopus, but goddamn, like,
yeah,
such a weird thing to exist on our planet.
It's a crazy animal. It's a wonder why that wasn't the animal that is like ruling the planet right now.
Yeah, the one that walked up out of the ocean. Have you seen dude, I've seen some of them that like when they're on the ocean floor, they have some legs that pick up their whole body, and then they have two legs that run really fast, and it's fucking hilarious to see.
It's terrifying. I don't like it. I just don't like. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. I don't like when animals have human traits, like when dogs try to speak or like sound like a human laughing. I hate it. I hate it. They fucking don't. Stay dumb. Stay in your lane, you animal. Or like parakeets, or not parrots, talking in human voices. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
Get your own thing.
I saw this thing where they said a parakeet got stuck on its owner's roof and they had to send firefighters to the roof to get it. First off, why is a bird stuck on a roof? What fucking insane world are we living in where a bird is trapped on a perch? Secondly, the firefighter couldn't get the bird because it was sitting there screaming at him to fuck off. Like,
Why was that preventing him from getting the bird?
yeah, I mean, this is just a sad
Well,
world
he said
we
he
live
doesn't
in.
want me to get you. So I can't
his
really
choice.
do anything about it. Yeah.
He's identifying at his need to stay on this roof. It's his right to stay here. Well, shit. I want to round back a couple of questions real quick, bro, if that's okay, just before we wrap it up here.
Rattle
I actually got to get going in a little bit. I have some time, but I won't rush you off or anything. I wanted to ask you, because I've asked everybody, and it's something Todd actually made me think about, because we did that show at the Hilltop, and I mean, the crowd was what it was. They weren't really listening to us. We the comedians were listening to us and doing what we were doing. But he pointed it out to me. He said, dude, I don't know how you can just motor through when you're not getting laughs. And for me, it's just, I know they're not listening, so I'm just gonna motor through. But for him, he was like looking for a reaction so he could get something from it, get that crowd work in. So the point that I'm trying to ask you, Levi Baughman, is what does Levi Baughman do when no one's laughing?
Levi Baughman laughs inside when nobody's laughing.
Give yourself that one.
I think it's really funny to bomb. I don't know what it is. Like, I didn't used to always feel that way. Like, bombing used to feel terrible. And now it's like, I just don't care. Like, I really don't. Like, obviously I want to do well. I'm not going out there trying to bomb. But, like, if it happens, it's like, oh, I'm sharing these ideas that I thought were funny and I thought were interesting or amusing in some way or another. And the people that I'm standing in front of with a microphone sharing those ideas to are not reciprocating that at all. Yeah. And in fact, are not listening to it at all, or are just talking over it and not actually participating. And there's something objectively funny about me going, hey, I got some things to tell you. Here they go. And then everybody being like, no, next. That is like objectively funny to me. So when I'm bombing, it's just like, I don't know. I just find it kind of amusing. And it's like the worst thing that happens is you don't do well and then you go home. Like that's really the full stop worst scenario that can happen from bombing.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. It's just not a thing that I really worry about anymore.
Yeah, the only thing I ever really learned from bombing any set is that those particular people didn't like those particular jokes. And I mean, like if I had a fucking month to stand on stage, just a consecutive, all day, all night open mic and just give you my whole notebook, sure, fine, we might find something, but I don't have that.
Right. Yeah, and also like I'm hard on myself if I bomb or if I do well. Like, if I do well or decent or whatever, the only thing that I'm thinking of is the joke that I forgot to say, or
yeah, I do that a lot too.
Some moment where I like tripped up and messed up what I was trying to say at that moment, or like tripped over my words. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about how well I did.
Man, on the same exact thought channel, wavelength, whatever, I can think of a number of times that I've gotten off the mic and stepped into the backspace or the green room or whatever. And my first thought is, oh my God, I forgot 4 jokes or something. Yeah. I could have kept going. I could still be up there right now. I fucked up because I forgot shit.
Yeah.
And it takes away from kind of the joy of killing it, but like, hey, whatever, we all mean to go up there again sometime.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's a weird thing that we do, because it's stemming from the idea that we all like have something to say and all have this like desperate need to be heard by somebody. And it's just funny to me that desperation is sometimes met with absolute silence.
Right. Because you're hoping those people have that in common with you.
Yeah. But that's just part of it, though. And like, ultimately, regardless of how it went objectively, doesn't really affect how it went for me. If I bomb, I'm thinking about the things that I did wrong. If I do well, I'm thinking about the things that I did wrong. And not in a self-loathing way. Not anymore, anyway. I don't beat myself up about it anymore. Just because it's like, oh, I probably should have done that. And I can look at it and sort of sift through the debris and kind of find the points that I can at least attempt to improve.
Right.
But
it's something that makes it hard to be a comic in the Midwest because our opportunities are so few and far between. Whereas a lot of the guys in major cities, they can ask these questions and learn these things several times a night.
Right. No, that would make it a lot easier, or it would also make it harder. I could see it being more difficult because that person might grow complacent and less hungry than maybe some of the people that are out here. Because, like, I don't know. I've never done comedy in a bigger city, so I can't really speak to what they're doing over there. But it's amazing to me that a lot of us will go in between mics, even back when things were happening regularly, and each week have like 2 to 5 new jokes.
Yeah,
that we were working on. I don't know how much that happens depending on the comic. We're just kind of like continually coming up with things because we have
we're
less
a good
of a
support
chance.
Group of each other.
Yeah, but I mean, we have like less of an opportunity to hone the one specific joke that we're working on. So instead, we're coming up with multiple jokes and multiple new jokes each week because we have more time. We have more downtime than we have stage time. So the scale is kind of tilted in a different way.
Yeah. And I notice a lot too at our particular clique, like we push our own writing so hard and so far that like if anybody's hosting out of our usual circle, the mic is open-ended. You don't have a set time limit. I mean, there's the vibe. You go as long as the vibe is that your time is you're supposed to be there. You know, once the vibe runs out and you're not supposed to be there anymore, you get the light and you're done. And most people respect it. I know we have one particular Tasmanian devil of a human being in the group that has said, fuck your light. And it's so great when he does it. But yeah. I mean, he's the only one that would ever get away with it.
Oh, yeah. Well, like Robert, we're talking about Robert.
Yeah.
Robert is, he's a special person.
We love Robert.
He's
an artist.
Dude, his art is fucking awesome.
I want to buy really some of his shit, dude. I'm hoping to buy something before he goes to France because I mean, someone French is going to take him from us. I know it. God damn it.
I tell him that. Like, he'll send me pictures of his stuff, and it's like, dude, I really enjoy this. Like, not ironically, not like, oh, you're my friend, and I'm telling you that I like this. Like, I actually like this. Like,
yeah,
this is cool.
I've said that too. My wife too, just side by side with me. We've both genuinely admired his shit, and oh man, he's one that I really hope he gets like noticed by somebody and recognized for all the potential he has. Because he's not getting a lot of recognition out of the mics.
No, as are none of us, to be honest.
True.
But like,
true.
Yeah, it's just that's kind of the thing. He's been going to Chicago a lot recently and like hanging out with friends over there who are artists. So I'm hoping that he like, does something with it because I really like his stuff. I'm sure there's some fringe group that will let him stay in their compound and just create art.
Right, that'd be so great for him, dude. Like, there's he doesn't know it. He hasn't been exposed, really. I don't think to the kind of people that would give him an art dojo, because that's what artists do. You know, they hole up in these big industrial buildings and they make a big workspace where for each artist, and like the artists rent out a room. You know, just like an apartment sized space where they can work on their shit for so long. And I think that would probably benefit him a lot. But getting back to Levi Baughman, I wanted to ask you, how does Levi Baughman close a show? What do you hit him with before to make him ask for more as you walk off?
Oh man, I wish I had an answer. That would probably be a good thing to know. I don't know. I don't really have a closer. Like, I don't really have a closing thing. I've never had a closer, and I've never had like an opener. Like, I should probably write one and come up with one, but forever my closer was okay, bye.
Yep.
That was about it.
That.
I would start off the show just by saying, hey. And then at the end I would go, all right, later.
Yeah.
Just leave.
Like, hey, I just I don't know that you know that I'm even supposed to be here, but I just kind of wandered up and I'm just gonna hit you with this real quick, and then
that's kind of the vibe that I want, though, is like that works for me. Is the idea, because when I'm on stage, I'm very like, I don't know, just kind of relaxed and just kind of there. And I like that. That feels right to me. So it kind of, I understand how corny and kind of like dumb me going up and starting by saying, hey, but like it gets a laugh pretty much every time, and it really sets up what you're about to see me do pretty well. Like, and if I can do that with one word said in a specific way and kind of just like key everybody in of like, this is what you're gonna get, that seems like the most efficient way to do it. But in terms of ending a show, I've never been good at like, I don't know how to end a show. I'm just not good at endings in general.
Me neither. I feel like a lot of where I fail is communicating with whoever's hosting, because I try to end on a big laugh and just be like, all right, thank you, good night, and then just walk off. And then they're just like, oh, you know, like, why did he finish? Oh, fuck, you know. And the host is never prepared. So many times that I walk off stage, the host is like, oh shit, has to run from wherever they just were taking a shit or out having a smoke or something.
Sure.
That's just a problem I've always had. So I feel like I'll get better as long as I know how to time my shit and signal at the host, or try to summon them before the end. I don't know how people do that.
Or you can just do what every other comedian does, which is say, all right, I'm going to end on this one, which I hate. I hate that.
And I do me nuts.
I do it. I say it. And I hate, every time I say it, I'm just like, you fucking idiot. What are you, why are you saying that?
Right. Literally, it's like telling them you're supposed to laugh now.
Well, not even that. It's just like a dumb, like, the fact that, especially at an open mic, you just saw 20 people get on stage and at the end of their set, before their last joke, they all said, all right, I'm going to leave you on this one. Eventually watching that is like, yeah, no, we know.
Yeah.
And it drives me up a wall of
right. Like we're all watching the time, or everyone standing along the back wall is watching the time, and they know your 5 minutes was up 2 minutes ago, and they were waiting for you to say that, you fuck.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just the fact that it keeps getting repeated.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again all night, that eventually it just is like, can we not come up with something else? Like rephrase it in a way, because no one rephrases it. They always say the exact same phrase is, all right, I'm going to leave you on this one.
Yeah.
That's it. Over and over again. It's like, can we not like, I don't know. It just bugs me. It's like somebody that says, over and over again, like just says or well over and over again.
Yeah, fucking I went to, when me and my wife were gonna have our kid. Oh god damn it, I gotta make this quick because our time's running up quick here. I only got a couple
no worries
minutes. But when me and my wife were getting ready to have our kid, we had to go to this class at the hospital where this lady, like, she was supposed to be, it was like a parenting class or something. And it was just her saying, oh, just don't choke your baby, or things like that. And she kept saying, and this and that. And
you went to Mrs. Doubtfire's parenting class.
Right. And it was just like, don't let the baby have any pokey things. Or don't put too many things in the crib because they might roll over and suffocate. Or, don't let the baby into your meth lab. We know you have one, Gina. And, that sort of thing. She kept saying, like, and that sort of thing. And it was like, those phrases were supposed to encapsulate these huge statements where she was just not saying a lot of facts, and at the same time,
what you mean.
Yeah, like we were doing all kinds of research and shit at the same time, and we were just seeing all these things that she like did not talk about. She would just say, and and that sort of thing. God damn it. So real quick,
it's very funny.
Right, real quick, I just wanted to ask: are you coming up to the open mic on the 12th?
I will be at the open mic on the 12th.
Fantastic. Do you have any other shows or gigs coming up or anything?
Nah, dude. Nothing coming up. Just gonna be doing the 12th. And then that's about it. I might make a trip to Milwaukee to do some shows with Ryan towards the end of the month.
Dude, cool.
But that's about it. Just doing the show next week, and or not next week, 2 weeks from now.
So it'll be February 12th, and then towards the end of the month, shows with Ryan in Milwaukee.
Potentially, yeah.
That's fucking awesome, man. That's more than a lot of the people have going on right now. I know I'm just at home podcasting and going to the open mic when it comes around.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you too, man, just as far as shows go, do you have any ideas for the dojo? Because, you are a sensei here. You are going to have you're going to have to do interviews, man, and send them to me and put them in the show, and we'll it'll be the Levi Baughman show, man.
All right. I can do my best, sir. I will come up with something for you. I'll start cooking.
Fuck yeah, right on. Well, Levi Baughman, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Tony Lee, and this has been the Burnt River Dojo. Smoke weed every day.
Please do.
All right, I love you, man. You take care.
Love you too, dude. Later.
Peace.
Stand on it.
count of a crutch and I make it from fucking too much. And I know I do it all points, dude, and you sell me to Wanderlust. I'm fickle,